Hi, my name is Afro, and in this video I'm going to be ranking 30 self-improvement books that I read from S tier, life-changing, to D tier, pass. And before we start, I just want to say that this is my own personal opinion on those books. What I considering, for example, A tier, a must-read, can be to other people not worth it. So take that in consideration. And let's start. Let's start with The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which I considering S tier because was life-changing for me. The book is all about the present moment. The only moment that exists is now, right here, right now. And if you focus on that, all your problems go away. The anxiety that comes from thinking about your past or daydreaming about your future most of the time are useless, and this is basically a skill that you can improve and develop, and is basically the key to happiness. For example, if you are having lunch and if you just focus on eating and enjoying the taste instead of being worried about what you have to do after the lunch, work or your girlfriend, you are not you need to be like in that present moment, because that thoughts that come to your mind are useless, and if you learn this will improve the times of your life. And I remember the author talks about the two types of pain. This is another example. For example, I injuring my elbow and I have the physical pain, but you also have your mind, the pain on your mind, and sometimes it's even worse than the physical. So if you live in the present moment, now you don't have even the physical, you can feel it, but doesn't matter because you take it out of your mind. For me, my elbow can be hurting like hell right now, but because I'm focused on recording this video, on talking to you, I don't have pain. So that's my opinion on this book. Let's move on to Deep Work by Cal Newport, and I consider this one a tier, must read. Basically, he explains the difference between shallow work and deep work. Shallow work is basically, for example, if you are trying to study for a test, that happens to me all the time. I would set, let's say, 5 hours to study for this test. I would sit down, but without the distractions, without like talking to a friend, stand up for eating, like change music, all these tiny actions will get you distracted, and by of that 5 hours session, you may take out like 1 hour. And this book basically teaches that in order to do deep work, you need to be focused without distractions, and will increase so much your output. Basically, just so you have notion of this, if you receive a notification, like you are studying, you are really focused on your studies right now, you build the momentum and you are really there, present, like the book, and you receive a notification from your girlfriend and it takes you like 15 seconds to respond, like she says something and you say, okay, yes, now I'm studying, sorry. That 15 seconds take away like 15 minutes or more of your productivity, because you to get a moment going again, it's really hard. You know that you have the resistance part when you are doing something difficult. So this is an awesome book if you want to be more productive and have meaningful work, which you're gonna like. Then let's move on to Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And I'm gonna rank this S tier because changed my life as well. Was one of the first books that I read. I think I was like 16 when I read, and I didn't understand the thing. And I read it again like last year, and bro, the difference was insane. Was the first book that I read on money and investing and finance. And basically it teaches the difference between a liability and an asset. For example, a liability can be your house or your car, because you buy something and you are losing money. You need to put more money to have that thing working. But instead, you have other ways that you can put your money work for you. And it talks about that, like putting every dollar working for you. For example, if you are investing on stocks or buying some assets, for example, let me think, property or a house. A house can be an asset if you are trying to make business with it, like you are gonna sell it after. And liabilities is like credit cards and things that like lose money in time. So it's a quick it's a quick read, so let me know if you read it already in the comments. And yeah, let's go move on to Think Like a Monk by Jay Sherry. I really like this guy, so I'm gonna do a 8-year must read for me, because like most people don't even know this guy, but I love him. He was a monk for like 2 or 3 years, and you can learn a lot from monks. Now you even have the trend of going monk mode, like 6 months and you're gonna be unrecognizable. So these books teach you how to think like a monk and implement things like meditation, gratitudes, like letting go your ego. So it's a great book and a great guy, because I listen to his podcast a lot, On Purpose by Jay Shetty. It's all about self-improvement and ways to improve yourself, tactics, and things like that. Then we have Jordan B. Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, which I can consider 8-year. I'm divided by life-changing, because this book is amazing, especially because there are 12 rules for life that he rated for anyone. Doesn't matter if you are gay, black. I'm not being racist here, like doesn't matter like where you live, anything like that, because they are for anyone and you can implement it. I like some of them. For example, I remember stand up and with your shoulders back. Your posture tells a lot about you, about your confidence, and it's really a practical book, so give it a try. I really like it. Then let's go to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I'm gonna rank as a good book. Yeah, it's a good book. I like Napoleon Hill. It's not the most like how can I say, it's kind of old, because the guy was from 1090 20 on our 20s or so, something like that. He died a long time ago, but it's basically tells you that you can think and not think and grow rich, but basically your mindset is everything. You can, like, it's a lot about the law of attraction and being positive and attracting the right things. It's a good book. Then we have Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, and I'm gonna rank as B tier. It's great. It's basically 21 tools for stopping procrastinating, and the main idea is that you should eat that frog first thing in the day. Start your day with the most difficult task, because everything else will become easier. So for example, if you have a test or you want to work on your business, always start your day with the most difficult task, because if not, you are gonna delaying during the day and you will end up with not doing it. It's a small book and it's really fun to read, so give it a try. Then we have Mindset by Carol. Yeah, I don't know. This was the only book that I read. From her, but it's a must read. It's definitely a must read, and basically explain the difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset. And this is so fucking important. I think my mindsets came a lot. I don't know if I already developed this before, but after this book, after realizing this was a thing, I put even more attention on it, because basically says that you can do everything, you can learn everything, you can do whatever you want if you have a growth mindset, because if you want to achieve something, you can learn the skills, you can change your beliefs, your perspective. But most people have a fixed mindset. If you ask like an ordinary person if they are happy with their job, or most people this is hard to explain, but they are not willing to learn, because in order to learn you will fail a lot and you will be like insecure because it's something new. It's difficult to step out of your comfort zone, so most people are not willing to do it. But if you have, for example, for me, I have a growth mindset when I say that I will eat 100k subs on this channel. I'm gonna be fluent in English. I'm gonna communicate my ideas better, which I'm working right now. And if I had a fixed mindset, I would say just, bro, yeah, my English is not my first language. I can be a YouTuber, like, doesn't work for me. No. You can't go it that way. You need to say, like, I can do everything that I set my mind to it. So then we have the Almanack of Naval, Ravikant, and I think this is an 8 year. It's an awesome book, and the author, this book is weird because this I don't even know the author. Like, I can't read it here. It's Erican something, which the guy writes about Naval Ravikant. It's a entrepreneur and a philosophic guy, and basically he collected the tweets from that guy and write a book, because he was sharing a lot of lessons about two main things, which is wealth and happiness. So if you are interested in those two topics, and I remember some things about the book, for example, if you are not certain of doing something, the answer is no, if you don't have 100% sure, and other things that you can build your happiness as much as you can build your health. So these are like skills that it's related to the growth mindset that you can build and learn. Then we have Robin Sharma, The 5 a.m. Club, which for me was a life-changing book. I love this book so much. When I was reading, I was really excited because all these books are non-fiction, and this one is also, it's like a story. You have characters, but the main point is implementing ideas and having like how can I say this, knowledge from the book, but in a way written by a story. So I haven't read a story in a long time. When I read this, I really like it. And basically the Robin Sharma says that 5 a.m. club, wake up every day at 5 a.m. and start your mornings with exercise. It's like a 3-pack of 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes was exercise to get you like energy and vibrating to do the work. Then you would put 20 minutes to work on meditation or breath work, and then 20 minutes learning or reading something that you really like. And that was your morning routine, 1 hour from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., the perfect morning routine. And then you can go through your work or wherever. But this book has a great tools, and that's a great idea behind, so give it a shot. I really like it. Then we have The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, and I'm gonna rank it as good. Was a story, it is mostly a philosophical book, doesn't have like key actions to take. Basically the idea behind is you shouldn't give a fuck about other people's opinion and just focus on your journey, on yourself, and you will achieve way more if you do it that way. And he also talks about the idea that we are all gonna die. Like, no one will remember us. Me doing these YouTube videos and being cringe here, like my friends on school, are watching this and they are laughing at me, like, who gives a fuck, bro? I'm trying to to improve here. I'm learning, and if you don't like limit yourself by other people's opinion, you'll reach way more. So yeah, it's a good book. Then start with why, and I'm gonna rank it B tier. It's a great book by Simon Sinek, which is a great leader, and yes, I think the most viewed TED Talk on YouTube. And basically, this question is fucking important, and all the big companies, they start with why. Basically, it talks about the golden circle, which is, I can write it, I can open Will Creek golden circle. Yeah, the outside is what, like, for example, imagine Apple. Everyone knows what Apple does, but then you have how it does, like, you don't know. They have their process and they things within the company, but most companies fail the why. Why are they doing that? Like the vision, the main idea behind. And for example, I relate with this. If you are trying to, for example, go to the gym, like you are overweight and you want to lose weight, and you start going to the gym, but you will relapse and you will lose motivation. But if you have a strong why are you doing it? Most people don't know. Like, if you ask why people do most things, they don't know. They only know what they are doing and how they are going to the gym, but they don't know why. And for example, if you have a fat guy that wants to lose weight, it just wants to lose weight. He doesn't know why. He doesn't know. Can be, for example, to be more healthy. He's gonna do that, like, to live longer, to help their parents. You need to have a strong why in order to do great things. Then we have 365 Days with Self-Discipline, and I'm gonna rank it great book. Basically, you have a quote and a page about the day. So day 1 of the year, day 2. Also, I was making videos about this book. Every day I was making a short. I'm gonna show you real quick. I was doing these daily videos. See, day 25 or 365 days was about this book. And okay,
day 30. You have to look like a fool while you're looking for answers that you don't have. And that's what I do every day, like filming myself.
Exactly.
These videos. I know my English is not perfect, but in order to succeed, you will suck at the beginning. You will suck less with time, and eventually you will start improving and get better.
Exactly, my friend. Day 30, and I was doing, okay, not this.
Day 40, on talking versus doing.
Bro, look at
It's
my
better
face.
to practice a little than to talk.
So this was on taking action. This has to
Day
be good.
42, on taking action. I can be here all day talking about cold shower.
Bro, my voice was fucked up. So basically, you read the page every day, and it's a cool book. By the way, I didn't finish this challenge. I think I made like 150 videos, but I was getting like 10 views, 4 likes, 4 likes, 2 likes. Yeah.
56, on the power of your mind. There is a study, and we.
Okay, let's move on to Unshakeable by Tony Robbins, and I'm gonna rank good book, but it's not really updated. It's basically about investment, and yes, some practice, like invest in the S&P 500, 10% interests. If you want a investment book, you have others more updated than this one. So let's move on to The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And for me, I would say that I didn't like this book much, to be honest. It's a little bit philosophic, and it talks about the history of money and give you like 12 steps or 12 tips. I remember that, and tells some stories about money, but yeah, wasn't a great thing for me. Then we have Limitless by Jim Quick, and for me, S tier, life changing. This book is amazing. I even offered this book to a friend because he recommended on the book. Alex Hormozy do the same, and this book is basically how to learn how to learn, because if you want to learn anything, if you master learning, everything will come easier. If you want to know how to make more money, if you want to know how to be a YouTuber, if you want to build discipline, if you have the skill of learning, just basic learning, because you don't learn this at school. No one teaches how to study, how to be productive, how to all these things. And I learned a lot from this book, how to have more energy, how to be productive. He even talks about food diets for brain. And this guy, this author, he can recalls like 200 numbers in a row, like he has like a super brain. He doesn't have a super brain. He just did that to teach people that everything is possible if you have a growth mindset. But these self-improvement books, that's one thing. I was having so much fun because you read one book and then you see their knowledge related to another book. And bro, this is all about same thing, like self-improvement in general, like mindset, learn, being present, like be productive. It's all related to it. Like Your Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, and it's a good book. I wasn't my favorite. It's also like a little bit philosophical. He has some good examples from philosophers like Epictetus and Sinet. I don't know. But ego is preventing from a lot of things. And if you can be more humble and let your ego go away, you can achieve so much more. It's maybe even best, yeah, for me. Then we have James Nestor, Breathe, and I consider it a great book, almost even a must read, because most people are mouth breathings, like they breathe for their mouth like the entire day, and breathing for your mouth is 500 times worse than for your nose. You have like a nose for something, like to filter the air. And basically they did some tests on people that were nose breathers, but they put something into their nose and they would do some tests for like 2 weeks or 1 week, and then they review their activities, like their cardio, their strength, their ability to learn, and all of that decrease, like the quality of sleep. So this book made me, I made a video on that. If you haven't checked it out, I made a tier list for self-improvement habits, and one of the habits was mouth taping, which I do when I am going to sleep, to make you force to sleep for your nose. So try it out and let me know in the comments if you have heard about my mouth taping. Then we have the classic Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I'm gonna consider it A tier because it's the power of the habits, and if you change your habits, you change your life. There isn't like a special event that will change everything. No, you can make your life better by changing your habits. And this book is really helpful because it has tons of practical action to reduce or eliminate your bad habits and improve or stick to new ones. So give it a read and let me know what you think. Then pick How to Master Almost Anything. This book has 2 authors and I'm gonna rank it as great. And it's basically, the main point is also like the mindset thing, because you can master anything, and like the common people say that you need 10,000 hours to master. Like you hear that quote about if you do the same kick for 10,000 times, like you need 10,000 hours to master something, but that's completely wrong. You need about, I think it's like 20 hours. Yeah, I think 21 hours is the number that you can master something. If you do it with deep work, like mindful learning, you can master, like not master like being a professional or a grandmaster, but you can learn a skill, or you can literally be good at something with 20 hours of practice. Let's say you never touch a basketball ball and you go to the court and you start learning it. In 20 hours you become pretty good with the right teacher and the right mindset. Yeah, it becomes pretty good, and you can learn anything with just practice. Then we have Why You Sleep by Matthew Walker, and I'm gonna rank it as a great book. I wanted to learn more about sleep, so I read this book, and you learn a lot. That sleep is the most important thing in your life that you need to be focus on if you want to improve your health and your life in general. And 6 hours of sleep are complete bullshit that will fuck you so much in the long term. So get at least 8 to 9 hours of good sleep. And the book is also really practical. At the end, he has some tips that you can sleep better. For example, go to bed every day at the same hours and wake up at the same hour. That's the number one thing to improve your quality and to fall asleep faster. Then you have other tips like blue light glasses and blockers and mouth taping, not watching screens 2 hours before, not eating anything like 3 hours before, like these normal tips. The temperature of your room needs to be cold. It's a good book. Then we have the 80-20 rule by Richard something that I don't remember. I read this book a long time ago and I'm gonna rank it as a good book. It's all about the 80-20 rule that you can see everywhere. Literally, this seems like a conspiracy theory. Like 20% of the people in the world have 80% of the wealth. Like, for example, if you are, let's talk about clothes. You use like 20% of your favorite clothes you use 80% of the time. Of course, this is not exact percentage, but for example, in your class, 80% of the students, like 20% are really good students, they want to be there, and 80% don't give a fuck. Like, these numbers are really accurate. And the point of this book is basically, for example, if you want to have better results, you need to focus on the 20% of the activities that bring 80% of the results. Because if you do the opposites of focusing on 80%, you will be having like diminished returns and getting only 20%. So this is basically less is more. That's pretty much it. Then How to Talk to Anyone by Leo Londes, and it's a good book. I'm not really excited about it, but it's good if you want to improve your communication. He is really practical as well. He has tons of tips, but basically, I'm saying basically like tons of times, you need to focus on the other person and their interests, because no one cares about other people. Like, most people just care about themselves, and like, you have 2 ears and only 1 mouth, so listen more. Then we have Show Your Work, and I consider this a good book. This came from Ali Abdal, the YouTuber, a long time ago, and it's all about documenting the journey. Like, if you want to start now, start today documenting your journey online, because social media is here and it's will be like in the next 5 years, 10 years, will be way more huge than it is now. So you will have a lot more creators than consumers. You'll This will be like exponential. For example, the people that is watching this video right now, maybe what 2%, 5% are creators, and the rest of the group are only consuming. So start small. You can start just posting things on Instagram, even YouTube. You can start recording videos now. But if you are dealing with some problem, if you are learning something, show your work, because you will have like feedback and returns on the internet. Internet is a wonderful place, and you should take advantage of it. Then we have Outwitting the Devil. This book is it's by Napoleon Hill as well, and I'm gonna rank it as great. If you know Jeffrey and Adonis by Hamza, if you don't know, it's like people that do the bad habits. They are fucked up, they have poor mental health, they are watching porn and eating junk food all day. And then we have Adonis, which is like the gods, really muscular, fit, like have a monk, think like a monk. And this is written in a way that I never saw before. It's basically a conversation by Napoleon Hill answering the devil is answering questions by the Napoleon Hill. So it's basically a conversation, like you have questions and things written, and it's to differentiate that 90% of the people are losers and fucked up people that don't have goals, are doing just the bad habits because they were like fucked up by the devil. And then you have the 1% Adonis that are only good habits and awesome people. So it's fun. It's a fun read, and I relate a lot. Then we have Make Time with 2 authors as well. I'm gonna put in a good book. If you want to be like, it's a productive book. If you want to do things like eat that, it's tools for stop procrastinating and how to focus on what matters every day. He talks about laser focus on like deep work as well, and being just there in one task. And I even printed some things from the book to be more productive, which were just focus on 1 or 2 things, 2 like big things to your day, and get it done. And if you want to read more about productive, it's a good book. Then we have Unscripted by MJ DeMarco, and I'm gonna rank it S tier, life changing for me, because literally changed my life. This book, I'm not gonna say something here about the Navy, but this book opened my eyes for a lot of things. And if you are into like the rat race, 9 to 5, all of that, give it a read. And if I had like a FTE event, and Emsa talks about this as well. He made a 1-hour video about this book, and he put the title like, "This is how Andrew Tate got rich," or something like that. And basically I had the FTE event, like fuck this event, when I was at the Navy. And basically most people want to be like rich, wants to be entrepreneurs, all the success, but they are not willing to commit because it's too hard. And if you are working a 9 to 5 and you are not happy, but you are, at least your life doesn't sucks. If that happens, you don't have the motivation to go to all the struggles, all like the hardship of being entrepreneur. So you can only achieve great things if you are really fucked up and you really need to make a decision to change your life. And he talks about like follow your passion is a myth, because like this life isn't fun. It's hard, but it's fulfilling, and you will receive tons of great results. Like all the money and all the success are really awesome, but it's hard. It's not a beautiful life as well. Like the 9 to 5 is a trap, the entrepreneurship can be a trap as well, depends on the perspective. But it's an awesome book. Then we have How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and I'm gonna rank it 8 tier. It's a must read. Like this book has so much pumps that, so I'm not gonna excite you even more, but it's awesome for communication. He gave like practical tips. For example, when you are talking to someone, make the interest what's the say, like make the other people like feel, bro, okay, this is all over the place. If you are here at 35 minutes, please comment down below. I would love to know if anyone is watching right now. Yes, some practical tools like remember people's names, focus on other people, and if you want to improve your communication skills, it's a must read. And then we have Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I'm gonna rank it as a must read, or yeah, must read, because most people cannot understand this book. If you are into stoicism, you will have a better connection with this book, because it's really difficult to read. Marcus Aurelius was a Greek emperor like 2000 years ago, and this book is basically his journal. Like he was journaling his thoughts, and the most incredible thing about this book is that knowledge, those journaling entries are still relevant in today's day. And he talks about being present in the moment, like not being like you shouldn't give a fuck about external events, just focus on yourself and being present. And bro, it's a difficult read, but I like to pick it up and read some parts, because it's not, you have like some stories and some entries, because it's a journal. But yeah, it's an awesome book. And then our last book is The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida, and I'm gonna rank it as B. Great book. It's a great book. I read it recently, and it's all about polarity, like the masculine and the feminine energy. And basically the main idea is that I understand a lot about my last relationship when I read this book, because you need to be like, if you are masculine, you will attract a feminine woman, and if you start losing this polarity and you become like best friends, I was that with my ex-girlfriend. We were really friends, and she was starting to lose the interest on me until she cheated on me, and that because this polarity was going away and we were getting more similar, more friends, and that can't happen in a relationship. You need to be a man and focus on your goals and your work, your purpose, and by doing that you will attract a feminine woman with tons of love. And basically when you stop your work a little bit, like you will work most of your day, but when you stop and you will have the time for your family, you are really there, present, and you give tons of love. And that's the way of doing it, not the other way around, when you are just disconnected and you are like with your girl 20 hours per day, but you are not really there. So it's an awesome book. It's a great book. I was about to change the ranking. But yeah, that's it for the video. These are the 30 self-improvement books that I read recently, And let me know in the comments which one that you already read and which one you like more. But my name is Afro, and see you in the next one. Bye.